Thank you, Can Corla and Minister. Earlier today, I supported activating the sunset clause regarding the emergency powers that we were discussing in the context of COVID. Now, many of us, with some hesitation, but we accept the extension of this draconian legislation. But somehow, we're told, we cannot find any possible mechanism to extend the time frame before we vote on this bill. We're told it's simply not possible. Yet, as I said, some of the most draconian legislation that this House has ever passed, we could find a way of extending that. And because we needed to. But, Minister, we need to on this piece of legislation as well. Now, last night, certainly, it was the most sensitive debate that I was ever involved in. And my strong view is that we are saying to survivors, let us take the risk of going ahead with a flawed process, but we will put it right with other legislation afterwards. Now, I believe that you intend to do your best, but, Minister, every single survivor of the mother and baby homes has already been let down by the state when they suffered inhumane and cruel treatment in those homes. They were let down again and again when they tried to reassert their rights and when they tried to get information about who they were and where they came from. And I hate to say it to you, Minister, but the truth is, and you know it like I do, those same people feel let down in the same way by this legislation. And I believe if we want to support survivors, we have an opportunity to do this today. Minister, you could either accept some amendments or you could delay the process. There are many good amendments put down by the opposition. You don't need to accept them all. And I heard the Can Corla earlier say that the purpose of this time is to try to persuade, to try to convince, to actively listen and actively respond. And my question is, if that's not the case, then what are we doing here? What is this crazy choreography where we dance around one another, but we never find any common ground? The last Parliament that I sat in, and I understand it's a different system, but in that Parliament, Minister, all amendments were compromise amendments. Now, I don't expect that here. But have we a rule that we can never have compromise amendments? Can we never have any meeting of minds? Because what we're involved in right now has no purpose from the point of view of improving legislation. Yes, there's democratic accountability and debate, but we're supposed to be debating and discussing amendments. But it seems to me that there's no point, because you have said you will take no amendments. And it's just, I think, as other colleagues have said, it's a waste of time from the perspective of improving legislation and of trying to respond to the genuine concerns of so many, many victims. And as I said last night, this is perhaps the most sensitive piece of legislation that we will deal with in this House. Finally, Minister, can I say that the amendments in front of us now relate to TUSLA being a repository of the database of this sensitive and personal information. I have read so many emails, I have spoken to so many people, and they are so determined that TUSLA should not be involved. It's not about individuals who work there. It's about the bureaucratic culture, the culture of always saving the system. And people just can't fight anymore. We do not want to see these records sealed. So, Minister, my final word to you is, and I'm only repeating what others have said, extend this, or at least, as one of my colleagues said earlier, give a free vote.